Now, Richard, you play Phillip
Yes.
Lucas. Tell me about your character.
Well, Phillip is he's a physiotherapist. He's really successful. He owns 3 clinics, and he's got daddy issues, to say the least.
I'm sorry?
He's plagued by a very traumatic past with regards to his mom and his father's open relationship. So he pretty much fled his home surroundings and went to the States, and he's established himself there quite well, and he's doing very well for himself.
Now, you were actually in our studio last month
Yes.
for the comedy you were in. What was it like transitioning from that play to this one?
Well, I must say it's good to have clothes on the whole show this time.
Maybe not so good for the audience.
Well, but yeah, it's been a real challenge from playing a strictly comedic role like Spike to taking off my clothes and saying silly things on stage to really drawing it in and becoming more intellectual with the character and exploring the emotional choices of this character. It's really been a lovely challenge.
Did you have enough time to make the transition? It seems like you just...
I think we're still exploring as we go, which is exciting. So we're still discovering new elements of our characters with each show, which is really fascinating.
I think that it's going to grow, and obviously this is the kind of play because it's really about real relationships and real people. And the dialogue is incredible. Mr. David Hare has written the most incredible dialogue for us. And as we go, we're getting more and more familiar. It's a bit like eating a very nice meal, and so we're just enjoying it more and more as we go.
And the discovery, I think, as well. Every time you're discovering new little nuances or connections with the other characters, or even parts in the script, because it's such a weighted script. And it's so loaded, so it really is, it's a wonderful exploration, and every single performance there's just something more that surfaces,
Now, Jackie, you play Richard's fiancée. Can you introduce us to your character?
I play Nadia Blye. Like Michael said, she's a former war correspondent. She then settles down and becomes a lecturer at Yale. A professor at Yale, and it's a wonderful character from an acting perspective because it's just so convoluted, and it really is all about what's underneath, because on the surface when you first meet her, she's this sorted, very direct kind of woman, but like all of us, underneath the surface, and that's a recurring theme in the play as well. The underneath, what's happening underneath, and the inner journeys and things like that. So it's a very convoluted character.
It sounds like there could be a lot of things happening underneath for your character, Michael.
Oh,
why don't you introduce us to your character?
I play Oliver Lucas, who is not retired, he was a specialist. And as I said, I don't want to give too much away, but something happens to him in his life that causes him to leave his practice. He was incredibly rich, incredibly successful, but he was a womanizer, and had an open marriage, and both him and his wife, and he was a womanizer. And anyways, something happens, and he withdraws, as he says, I went away where I would do no harm. And he withdraws and becomes a GP in this very small Welsh village. And what happens is when Jackie's character comes, he can't help himself because he does appreciate women, but he has a catharsis when he meets her, and I think both of them get released from something in this experience. The unfortunate thing is, of course, that my son thinks I'm hitting on his girlfriend.
Which he is.
Well...